so mad and frustrated right now because me and my wife, we were planning to go to Korea tomorrow for my sister's wedding. However, Trump just signed a bill for H1B visa holders. So H1B visa is basically a working visa for foreigners to work in US. And employers normally sponsor those visas. And the bill basically was now employers have to pay $100,000 per person per year, which basically means do not hire foreign workers outside of US. For my case, my petition already approved and everything, so that all I needed to do was going to Korea and go to US Embassy, get the interview for the visa, and then get the visa stamp, and then come back to US. That was my plan. However, now that this bill is just going to be effective tomorrow, everything is uncertain. Like, I don't even know how long it will take for them to give me a visa stamp, and I don't even know if they're just going to give me a visa stamp. And I don't even know, even if I get a visa stamp, when I come to US, they might ask, did your employer pay that? Answer is no. And will my employer pay for me that amount of money? No. So we've decided not to go. We were so excited until we heard this news, and I haven't even talked to my mom. I don't even know what to tell her. She was so excited to see us, especially since my wife is pregnant. I don't even know when I'm gonna be able to leave this country. I'm just sending out this for awareness to people like myself. If you're currently in US with the H1B visa working as a foreigner, do not leave this country. Otherwise, you might not be able to come back.
This whole H1B visa thing is exactly why I think this regime is going to fail. And let me tell you why. I'm not saying things aren't bad, and I'm not saying you shouldn't worry, but I am telling you this. Every single authoritarian regime throughout time has succeeded because it has used the centralization of power. Usually that centralization of power is within one single leader, and that single leader has a very clear, organized, and precise goal in mind. And right now, there are 4 major factions that are battling for control of this country. Number 1, the Orange Clown. The Orange Clown is an authoritarian. Does he know what that is? No. But does he know what he wants? Yes. He wants full, unchecked power to do 2 things. He wants to get revenge on his enemies and to enrich himself. That's it. End of story. Next, we have the Heritage Foundation that controls the evangelical base, and their goal is very clear, very obvious. They want a Christo-fascist nation. Next, we have the tech bros, notably Peter Thiel and Elon. Elon, who very famously and very proudly purchased this past contest for the Orange Clown, and Peter Thiel, who purchased and installed Couchboy to implement his vision for the future. His vision of the future is, of course, complete government deregulation and the dismantling of democracy to replace it with a techno-oligarchy. And last, we have potentially the most dangerous of all, Mr. Miller himself, Pee Wee German. And he is not dangerous because he's particularly intelligent, obviously. He is dangerous because he is effectively running the country right now. This is not opinion, this is fact, verified through multiple sources coming out of this regime. Pee Wee German is running this country. Pee Wee German writes up executive orders, puts them in front of the Orange Clown, and then tells the Orange Clown to go have fun building his big, beautiful ballroom. This is why this H1B visa thing is such a perfect example of why this regime is not sustainable, why it will only continue to attack itself. It does not coordinate, it does not communicate, it does not work together. Pee Wee German wrote that executive order because he hates brown people. That's it, end of story, that's all it ever is for him. He puts it in front of the Orange Clown. The Orange Clown does not know what H1B visas are. He signs it because Pee Wee German told him to, and also because he sees everything through the lens of a mob boss, right? He gets excited at the idea that maybe, these big tech companies are going to panic and they're going to want to keep these visas, and so they are going to bribe the Orange Clown. Very exciting. He will get richer. That's what he wants. Now, the tech bros are going to absolutely flip out about these visas because not only are they incredibly important to their companies, a lot of them are here because of those visas. Like Elon. If you remember back in December, he got into a huge Twitter war with MAGA about these visas, saying that he will go to war on this issue, the likes of which you cannot comprehend. Quote. Now, the Heritage Foundation seems actually pretty neutral about this issue. They don't really care one way or another. Yes, they want to limit immigration, but also I looked into them and they have used these visas in the past for their own organization, so we're going to leave them out of this battle this one time. So basically what is going to happen is these 3 factions are just going to try and battle it out, right? So we got Pee Wee German, who's trying to flex his power over the Orange Clown and also over the tech bros. I do believe that he has a vendetta against the tech bros, specifically Elon, mostly because of his wife. Look into that. And we have the tech bros who are going to fight back with threats of withholding their immense wealth. And then we have the Orange Clown who is going to sit there peeing in his diaper, wondering if maybe Mark Zuckerberg is going to give him a cool gold trophy, just like Tim Apple did. And if we pull back and look at the big picture, this executive order is absolutely illegal, unenforceable, and will be struck down by courts immediately because everybody who works in this administration is an incompetent buffoon. In the meantime, we have panic and chaos while these poor visa holders' lives hang in the balance, not knowing if they can stay or if they can go, while the regime is coming out already contradicting half of what was in the executive order. Rinse and repeat until they completely lose power, whether it be in the midterms or worst case scenario in 4 years. Because this regime does not know how to legislate. They do not know how to implement. All they know how to do is break things. And that is not how you create a successful authoritarian regime. I mean, seriously, at this point, I could do a better job.
Crazy turn of events. My boyfriend had to get up out of our Italian pasta making class in Rome and leave. I kid you not, leave. Not the class. Leave Rome because of the whole H1B $100,000 situation that's going into effect Saturday at midnight, and it's literally Saturday midday in Rome right now, so he had to be on the next flight back to make it in time. And so now I'm here solo, but he booked the next flight to anywhere in the US he could find, which is crazy. He'll be fine. Italian vacations can happen again, like, not stressed. But it does make me wonder about, number one, people that can't just drop of a hat, buy a ticket back, or are number two, too far away in a different country to make it back in time, who have just like had their entire world flipped upside down overnight because it came into effect and happened so quickly. Crazy times we live in. Anyways, I'm gonna go shopping. I think I deserve it.
Hi guys, my name is Miss Yuba. Welcome back to my channel. Have you heard about this H1B visa that has been circulating on TikTok? Guys, let's talk about it. Trump's $100,000 fee is not about protecting jobs. It's about dividing people. It's about creating fear of immigrants. And it also makes sure corporations keep power without real reform. If we really care about workers, American or immigrants, we should be fighting for higher wages, stronger unions, and universal health care, not pushing people for wanting a better life. Here is what the right wing won't tell you. Immigrants on H1B don't steal jobs. They usually fill jobs where there aren't enough skilled American workers, especially in tech, healthcare, and engineering. In fact, these workers help build the apps we use every day. They work in hospitals and they help keep America innovative. Pushing them away doesn't make the US stronger, it makes it weaker.
Indians working in the US have gotten the biggest shock of their lives, but it may work out to be very well for India, and I'll explain exactly what is happening. So yesterday, President Trump mentioned that any American company hiring foreign workers on H1B visa will have to pay $100,000 every year to the US government in the form of a fee. Which means every Indian who will be hired by an American company, well, that company in the US will have to pay 88 lakh rupees, not one time, but every single year. Now, this means that practically all the Indians working in the US and are not already US citizens may have to come back, because right now this is a presidential order, and whether it's going to sustain in the US Congress or not, we can't really say. But imagine it does. I'll tell you what will happen. For example, when I speak with the administration at B schools in India like ISB as well as IIMA, the administration is really happy because right now the kind of applicants they're getting to these colleges for the MBA program are absolutely phenomenal. Because, 35% of the Indians who would apply to the US every year in search for better MBA are now not applying, and all these people are now studying in India. Similarly, now the best of talent from the world is going to come back to India because companies may not want to hire them in the US. And over the next 5 to 7 years, I would predict that a lot of global companies would then begin to bring investments into India, start setting up companies into India, and quite like how China grew over the past 2 decades on the back of their fabulous talent, which built massive tech companies inside of China which are now going global. The same journey may actually happen for India over the next 1 decade, because 71% of the H1B applicants are actually Indians and only 12% are Chinese, which is why, while it is really painful for people who have family members in the US working right now in the short term, in the long term, it may be a fabulous golden opportunity for our country, India. Share it with someone who may need it.
I have some very important updates to share with you about the H-1B visa $100,000 fee. The White House and USCIS have provided us with some critical information. And by the way, some of this information contradicts the proclamation. The first important piece of information that you need to know is that this only applies to new petitions that will be filed after September 21st, 2025. In other words, this will only impact those who will go through the next cycle of the H-1B lottery. If you already have your H-1B visa, this does not impact you. And as a matter of fact, they also clarified that you can travel in and out of the United States without any problems, and you will not be charged a fee to re-enter the United States. This is not an annual fee. It is a one-time fee that only applies to the petition at the time that you apply. If you're going to seek renewal or extensions or even a change of employer application that you're going to file with the government, you will not be impacted by this. You will not be responsible for this big fee for any of those processes. Again, because this will impact new petitions, those who will go through the next lottery cycle. Friends, I'm covering all things related to Trump immigration changes. Follow for more.
Did you see this video of passengers trying to get off a flight after Trump announced that the application fees for H-1B visas will be $100,000? This happened on an Emirates flight trying to leave out of San Francisco International Airport. That was on the same day that Trump announced that the application fees for H-1B visas will go up to $100,000. Compare that to the fact that historically the H-1B visa applications has cost between $1,700 to $4,500, and that this new $100,000 annual fee will go into effect starting September 21st. That's why people are rushing to get off the plane, because the way it's being presented is that if you're in the country when the fee goes into effect, you don't have to pay it right now. But if you're outside of the country and try to come back in after the 21st, they're going to check to see if that fee was paid. But Trump's move is always hurting the employee, the people of color, the immigrants. This kind of whiplash from a Trump administration, both for companies and for people, is something that's genuinely making everyone think twice about investing or coming to the US in any way. Because even if they do everything right, they can find themselves in this kind of chaos under this administration.
This H-1B visa news has actually made me laugh so hard. As a Canadian that studied at the University of Waterloo and who works at Apple and has interned a year and a half in Silicon Valley, I can tell you that this is the downfall of tech in America. We're cooked. America's cooked. Like, this is cooked. Like, half my team at Apple's gone. All the team at LinkedIn is gone. Like, guys, like, this is a serious issue. And why are people celebrating this? Like, you guys are basically saying we don't need tech anymore. We got AI. No, you suck. Like, Americans suck at coding. Like, respectfully, I can't code without AI, right? So the Indian people who are coming and building these magical, perfect, beautiful code are carrying us. And so we're cooked. Yalla, I'm going back to Canada. I'm actually happy about this news because I miss my family and my sister-in-law, so send me back.
So, Mr. Orange Buffoon signed a new executive order, the H1B visa, so that they have to pay $100,000 to get approved for the HIV visa to come here. Like, he says that the reason why he's doing it is because America are not benefiting from it. But Americans are not qualified for that shit, because if they were qualified, America would not be trying to go get people from other countries. And 70% of the people that are approved for the H1B visa are people from India. Yes, 70% of the approval are India people. I mean, what the fuck you want to do? Educate your motherfuckers here in this country so you don't have to go out of the country and go bring people here. Like the fuck? You are destroying education. You are burning books. On the other hand, but you don't want educated people to come here. They're not stupid. They have bachelors and
Now I got to take a minute to explain the United States to the United States, because y'all been getting lied to and you don't even know it. So y'all been screaming they took our jobs, they took our jobs. Yes, Mohammed the brain surgeon took your job. So back in the 1960s, the United States came to my parents, my family's island in the Caribbean, begging for nurses and doctors to come to the United States. That's why we ended up here. Interesting. Because there was a massive shortage of medical workers here in this country. So my family, they decided to come. Some of my aunts actually moved further north because the same problem happened in Canada. They didn't have enough people trained enough to be doctors. Because the United States, people don't go to med school because people don't really go to college here. Y'all just don't. So now they messing with the H1B visas. Even though they've been running around begging other countries to send medical workers here and people complied, they came and helped out, y'all gonna make H1B visas $100,000 a year. And these aren't just nurses or regulars. These are also specialists, like top of their field, only people that can do their surgery in 3 states over and all that craziness. So y'all just really do want to fall into a category like a third world nation that just doesn't have medical workers to help you and doesn't have medical health insurance or anything to help you. Like, I don't know where y'all think this is going to lead to greatness, but y'all literally are going to send this place down into a fiery ball of crazy. And I'm going to have to pack a bag just in case.
And let's make it real. Imagine you are a young engineer in India, super smart, works your whole life to get here, and suddenly the door is slammed in your face. Not because you are not good enough, but because of a giant fee. That is discrimination with price tag. Thank you for watching these my videos. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel to help this channel out.